Okay, so today you graphed linear equations, you graphed straight lines, you graphed some other equations too, but the ones that we're going to talk about this whole unit are linear, which means that they're going to be a straight line. That's why the word line is in linear. So you're going to graph straight lines. Today what you did is technically you created a table of values with everybody else in the class and you plotted a whole bunch of points to make a straight line. That's one way to do it. The second way you're going to learn tonight is called using your intercepts. Really, whenever you draw a straight line, you only need 2 points because you can just draw a straight line between those 2 points. Well, the 2 points that you're going to learn to use tonight are your x and your y intercepts. So make sure that you add the date, page number, and that you add all this in your table of contents. And we're going to look at the key terms. So ignore this red line for a second. If I need to find an x-intercept, that would be where any line crosses my x-axis. So in this case, in the red line's case, this would be my x-intercept because that's where it crosses the x-axis. Okay? Notice in my definition it says that this is where my y is 0. Well, let's talk about why that is, because if you understand why, you won't forget the rule. This seems a little odd that the x-intercept you plug in 0 for y, but this is why. If I look at this point, this is the point -1, 0. Notice that my x is -1, but my y value is 0. So let's just draw a different line here. Right there. There's another linear equation, another line. My x-intercept on this one is the point 3, 0. Notice again, my y is 0. That's because everywhere on this x-axis, my y equals 0. Because if I counted, if I went up any, that would be where my y is 1, where my y is 2, where my y is 3, 4, 5. If I went down, it'd be -1, -2, -3, -4. So the reason that when I'm solving for an x-intercept, I have to make my y equals 0 is because anywhere where that line, or any equation for that matter, is going to hit, my y value will have to be 0 for it to be an x-intercept and sit on my x-axis. So same concept we're going to use for finding a y-intercept. Okay, well my y-intercept is where it's going to cross my y-axis. So on this red line that was already graphed on your page, this is the point 0, 1. Notice my x value is 0 here. My y value is 1. Anywhere on this line, like if I picked a random point here and I drew a line, my y-intercept would be right here, and this is the point 0, 5. Well, notice again, my x value is 0. My y value is 5. That's because anywhere that it's going to hit my y-axis, my x value is 0. Because to the left or right any, it would be 1, 2, 3, or -1, -2, -3. So that's why we do that. So now if I need to find an x-intercept for any type of function, I would put 0 in for y, and if I needed to find a y-intercept for any function, I would put 0 in for x. Okay, so that's why these work the way they do. I just want you to understand that so you don't forget the rule. So if I'm going to look at example 1, it wants me to find the x and y intercept. And again, that's going to be enough information because when I have 2 points, I can just draw a straight line between them because I know this is a linear equation. So if I use this equation, if I'm finding an x-intercept, remember that has to sit right here. Well, right here is where my y values are 0. So if that's where y equals 0, then I'm going to put 0 in for y. 2x plus 3 times 0 equals 6. Well, if I go to solve this, 3 times 0 is just 0. The only thing left over here is a 2x. And then a 6 on this side. I'm getting 2 by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And x is equal to 3. So my x-intercept, I'm going to be picky, is an ordered pair. So we're going to write it as an ordered pair. The x value was 3, and I put 0 in for y to get that. So it's the ordered pair 3, 0. So I'm going to plot that point. 1, 2, 3, 0. That's my x-intercept. Now I'm going to find my y-intercept. That would sit on this line somewhere, which again is where my x is equal to 0. So if I'm going to make that happen, I would put 2 times x is 0 this time plus 3y equals 6. So I'm going to solve my equation. 2 times 0 is 0. The only thing left on this side is a positive 3y. Divide both sides by 3. And y is equal to 2. write my ordered pair. I put 0 in for x. I got 2 for y, so that's the ordered pair, 0, 2. And that's where my line is going to sit. So now I'm just going to draw my line between my 2 points. As straight as you possibly can. I cannot draw straight lines, even with this thing. But this is what your line would look like. So now I'm going to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept for each equation and graph the lines, or graph the 2 points and draw the line between them. So again, my x-intercept is where my y equals 0. So I'm going to plug it in. Look at the equation. 0 for y equals negative 1/6 times x. I don't know what that is. That's what I'm solving for. Now I'm going to get x by itself. So I need to move the plus 1 to the other side. And I get negative 1 is equal to 1/6 x, which is the same thing, negative 1/6 x, which is the same thing as dividing by negative 6. So I'm going to undo that by multiplying both sides by negative 6, or negative 6 over 1. That's technically my reciprocal. Those will cancel, and I would get 6 is equal to x. So my x-intercept, I got x is 6. My x value is 6, and my y value I plugged 0 in. So this is the ordered pair 6, 0, and sorry about that, it ran off the graph a little bit, but that's okay. There's my x-intercept. And to find my y-intercept, I'm going to put 0 in for x, because it's got to sit on this line, and that's where x is 0. So I'm going to get y equals negative 1 over 6 times x, which is 0, plus 1. Y equals, this goes to 0, 1. Y equals positive 1. I'm done solving it. So x, I put 0 in for x. I got 1 for y. So this is the ordered pair, 0, 1. Draw my straight line between those 2 points. And your line should look like this. And that is it for tonight. So that is how you can graph any line, any function, anything. If you need to find an x or y intercept, that's exactly how you would do it. To find an x intercept, you would put 0 in for y, and to find a y intercept, you would put 0 in for x.